Tanzi, bonjour. Wasimik Benese, Kwe, Indigenous Cause. Makwandoda. Hello, my name is Nicole Joy Fraser. I'm also known as Lightning Thunderbird Woman from the Bear Clan. My relations are from Treaty 8 territory, Horse Lake First Nation, Deneza, Métis, Nahea, and I'm also a mixed European Canadian settler. Very honored to be here and invited into this very, very special tradition. As a Niagara resident for the last 8 years, raising my son, launching our canoe nearby at the Wellandport Lodge. Acknowledging the land that we're on is very important for us as First Nations people, but also for all Canadians. I've been invited to use the West Lincoln drum. This drum came to birth up at Queenston Heights. We gathered many women of the Niagara community from various regions, various areas, came together to birth 13 drums. These 13 drums that also represent the 13 moons of the year, the cycle of a year. We feasted them with berries, acknowledged the earth, acknowledged the land, and acknowledged that this was a partnership between Indigenous people and West Lincoln, but also the partnership between West Lincoln and Saskatchewan, which is also written here as the artist has displayed. It was part of coming together for the Canada Games. And I'm very honored to be using this drum for the first time in what we call a hand drum song, but for us it's also how we pray and acknowledge our ancestors, not just mine, but also yours. I'll be singing in Anishinaabe. This is a song that I birthed a few years ago as I walked along the Niagara River and it came to me. What I'm saying is welcome good grandfathers, welcome good grandmothers, welcome all of creation. It's meant to acknowledge everyone's background, everyone's ancestry. In our belief system, our ancestors walk with us, they guide us, they help us to come together in good mind, good heart, good spirit, so that we can make the best decisions, not just for this generation, but for those to come. 7 years to come, that's the teachings of 7 generations that are coming after. So I'm very honored to be here today. Thank you for inviting me. I've been gifted tobacco as what we acknowledge, that reciprocity and that relationship if you're being asked to do something. Tobacco is one of our sacred medicines. It helps us to connect to Creator. And this is the first time I've been gifted. I mean, it's very emotional for me because I was invited to sing for the garden at the Wellandport Library. Beautiful new garden. I encourage everybody to go and see it when they can. Even if it's wintertime, it's a place for reflection. And we acknowledged those plants, we acknowledged all the gardeners, everyone that had put their efforts to bring that beautiful garden, that medicine garden to life. And so I was gifted these tobacco leaves, which will dry in my home. It's a beautiful exchange and a beautiful testimony to reconciliation and partnership and acknowledging everyone's sharing this land together as we move forward. Whew, I can feel a lot of power in here. A lot of beautiful souls gathered here tonight. So in order to acknowledge everyone, this is my opening song to welcome everybody. So I'm literally saying, come on in, come on in. And if anyone catches the tune or likes to join me, I encourage you, just like we would stand for an anthem and sing, I also invite you to sing. If you like the melody and you want to join, please do.
region, province, and/or other, elect a group of individuals by an open election using secret ballots to administer the affairs of the area. It is done with great trust and respect. Peaceful and orderly transfer of authority from one elected group to another is the most basic form of democracy. Be it known, far and wide and locally as well, that those here, having been duly elected, will take the oath of office of mayor and municipal councilors for the corporation of the Township of West Lincoln in the region of Niagara. Let the official swearing-in ceremony now take place here in front of all persons as witnesses. Given at the Township of West Lincoln this 21st day of November in the year of our Lord 2022. God bless Canada. God save the King.
It is a privilege to read the land acknowledgement for the Township of West Lincoln. The Township of West Lincoln, being part of Niagara region, is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattamadarunk, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The Township of West Lincoln, as part of the Regional Municipality of Niagara, stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live.
Send Tonight we gather with thankful hearts. We are thankful to those who have served West Lincoln in the past, who have used their gifts and talents to bring us to where we are now. Thank you for the work that you have done. And we're also thankful to our newly elected officials who are about to take the offices to which they have been appointed. Indeed, we all come from many places, backgrounds, ethnicities, and by many paths. And yet tonight we all come here inspired by a single mission: to serve, to the best of our ability, the people who live in West Lincoln, a place we call home. As our newly elected mayor and council members assume their responsibilities to lead our township, may they be empowered to bear their responsibilities of leadership with the utmost integrity and courage and humility. And may they cultivate the capacity to see the humanity and dignity in those who disagree with them, and to treat all people, no matter how different, with the respect they deserve. May they be given courage and wisdom and compassion to make the decisions that need to be made. And may they be unified in vision and purpose. And may we as a people always honor them for the offices in which they serve in. And may they always see in us a willingness to give them support. And may they recognize that their lives will not be measured by the titles that they carry, but by the lives they transform and the people that they help. May their leadership in West Lincoln become a shining example for all to follow. Now receive the blessing of our God. May the strength of God uphold you. May the wisdom of God guide you. May the hand of God protect you. And may the word of God direct you. Amen.
Good evening and welcome to the inaugural meeting of Council for the term 2022 to 2026. I am Joanne Chime and I report to the Township of West Lincoln. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order at the hour of 7:18 p.m. Prior to commencing with the declaration of elected and appointed offices and oath of allegiance, I would ask that all members of the public, if you have not already done so, please sign the guest book. Following tonight's ceremony, the guest book is located near the gymnasium entrance doors. Also, if you have not already done so, I would ask that everyone please turn your cell phones off or your pagers or PVAs or put them on airplane mode. And advise that this meeting is being live streamed as well as videotaped and will be posted on the Township's website following the meeting. Thank you. Now, I would ask Councilor Jason Trombetta to please come forward to the podium to take his declaration of office. Councilor Trombetta.
I, Jason Trombetta, have been elected or appointed to the office of councillor in the municipality of the Township of West Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truthfully, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise, therefore, for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, and any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipality of Conflict of Interest Act. I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III and make his solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is the same force and effect as it made under oath.
This is declared before me at the Township of West Lincoln on the 21st day of the month of November 2022.
Was Mara? Is that better? It's really nice to talk a little bit louder. Okay, thank you.
Councilor Broderick? I, Shelley Broderick, having been elected or appointed to the office of councillor in the municipality of the Township of West Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and partially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as made under oath. Declared before me at the Township of West Lincoln on the 21st day in the month of November 2022. Councilor Chichok? I, Joanne Chichok, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the Township of West Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. This is declared before me at the Township of West Lincoln on the 21st day in the month of November 2022. Councilor Bell?
I, Terry Bell, having been appointed or elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the Township of West Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truthfully and faithfully and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise, therefore, for the exercise of this office in a biased or corrupt in any other improper manner. I will disclose my pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration, and conscientiously that believing this to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if I made under oath.
This is declared before me at the Township of West Lincoln in the 21st day of the month of November 2022. Councilor Riley?
I, William Riley, having been elected or appointed to the office of councillor in the municipality of the Township of West Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, and I will make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it will be the same force and effect as if it was made under oath.
This is declared before me at the Township of West Lincoln on the 21st day in the month of November 2022.
Thank you.
Mayor Gannett? I, Cheryl Gannan, having been elected or appointed to the office of mayor in the municipality of the Township of West Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. This is declared before me at the Township of West Lincoln on the 21st day in the month of November 2022. Left-handed Anya here has to go up the page, sorry. This is the chain of office. I'm going to now put on the mayor. Again? If we can. Congratulations. Thank you. Referred to last night by my granddaughter as the big necklace. So I'd like to begin by thanking our special guest tonight. So our piper, Peter Mackenzie, for leading us in such a grand fashion. Nicole Joy Fraser for adding a very special touch to the evening, and who will again close out our inaugural meeting with a closing song. So thank you, Nicole, for your comment. You know, I was hoping, actually, because I was at the garden opening, so I was actually hoping that it would be you who was here tonight. So thank you so much. I'd like to thank my friend Linda for doing such a wonderful job on the land acknowledgement, and Alan Freeman for his wonderful proclamation. I'd really like to offer my personal thanks to Pastor Peter for accepting my request to perform tonight's invocation. You did a marvelous job, and I knew you would, and I thank you so much for doing that. I really wanted to thank the choir, but you know, kids being kids, they've gone. But I thought that you needed to know that henceforth our council meetings will begin with students singing O Canada at the beginning of the meeting. So we're going to begin with the recordings that the students provided from tonight's performance. And also we've invited some of the other schools who wish to take part to submit a recording of O Canada. So we'll use that on a rotational basis. So I'd like to acknowledge and thank the Township of West Lincoln senior staff for supporting council by their presence this evening. Of course, we have our Chief Administrative Officer, Bev Hendry, the Director of Legislative Services and Clerk, Joanna Shime, our Director of Finance,
DeFilippis, Director of Planning and Building, Brian, I saw. I'm not sure who else is here, but certainly our senior staff are very supportive of the work that council does. So this part actually on your agenda just says introduction of distinguished guests. So it's really my honor and privilege tonight to point out our distinguished guests among us. In attendance, we have 2 former female mayors. So we have former Mayor Joan Packin and former Mayor Katie Trombetta, and I am so honored to be able to follow in their footsteps. Hopefully I'll be able to do the job that they were able to do as well, and do it as well as they did. We also have with us tonight former Mayor Doug Joyner and his wife Barb. I understand you're doing 2 things tonight, so I'm glad that you were able to make it on time. Thank you for coming. I think somewhere in the crowd also is our Chamber of Commerce. I see her. Okay, so we have the Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce that I've also worked closely with and who worked very closely with the township. So Denise Potter is here, and also the new Chamber President, Janelle Van Hulst. So thank you also for joining us this evening. So, it's my turn for an address, and I do apologize. If you know me, you know that when they say a few words, it might be a tad more than a few, but please bear with me. This is my opportunity to say all the things that I wanted to say. So what an honor and privilege to be here in this community gathering space with all of you tonight. Decades ago, John and I became involved in giving back to our, at that time, brand new community. It has been our involvement in such things as the fire department, the library board, West Lincoln Community Care, the Kiwanis Club, and so on, upon which our adult lives have been formed. It is the sense of community, the sense of belonging, developed through those numerous volunteer hours spent with so many of you, that has enriched our lives. It is those many and varied relationships formed over time that have proven to be the strong base of support on which I now stand before you as mayor of West Lincoln. I am so grateful for and humbled by that amazing support. I would like to publicly thank John, my #1 supporter, my lawn sign guy, and additionally also the guy who's kept things running smoothly at home for the past 6 years, and our children, Sean and Michelle, and Rebecca and Jason, and our 4 granddaughters, Myra, Imogen, Juliet, and Annalise, who have all, on an ongoing basis, offered their love, support, and encouragement. I'm pleased to have this public opportunity to thank the many friends who became part of the Team G'dan movement. The outreach of support from residents with whom I had no previous relationship, who simply offered help through the use of their time and various talents, was amazing. Without the dedicated help from each and every one of you, stuffing mailboxes, putting up and later picking up the huge number of signs, knocking on doors, recording comments, dealing with social media posts, etc., this would not have been possible. Thank you, Team G'dan members, for whatever part you played in this success story for our community. Lastly, but most importantly, I would like to thank all who chose to support me with your vote. At your door, through social media posts, and in the grocery store or post office, wherever we met or wherever one of our team members met you, we asked you to exercise your right to vote, and you really listened. So many people voted. So many felt engaged in this decision-making process regarding our collective future. Thank you, West Lincoln, for caring so deeply about the future of our municipality and for putting your trust in my leadership capabilities. I'm so very appreciative of the wonderful support that I've received and will strive to do my very best for all residents of West Lincoln. At this time, I'd like to address my fellow council members. Congratulations to each of you on your election, or more appropriately, re-election. We have a group before us who have all been on council at some point in time. I just couldn't be more pleased with the makeup of this council. I am well aware that it was more than just my own campaign team supporting me at the doors. I know that we offered each other mutual support as we campaigned, and I sincerely thank each of you for that. And so, the election is over, the community has spoken, the job begins. What an incredible honor to have been elected. As a council, we can now look forward with a huge sense of optimism and positive energy to the future of West Lincoln. People are really excited about this council. They are expecting that great things will happen for West Lincoln. They are encouraged by the possibilities that our collective experience represents. We were elected to find better ways of approaching age-old problems or situations. In order to do so, we need to pay close attention to what the public is saying and has been saying along the campaign trail. I heard, as I'm sure you did, that working cooperatively with our dedicated and knowledgeable staff, we will need to make deliberate plans to protect green spaces, our natural heritage systems, and work to develop appropriate park and people spaces as we grow. It is important that hand in hand with our senior staff and in consultation with our business community, we look for and purposely pursue all avenues for attracting small and large businesses, both to our downtown core and to our employment areas. We must continue to respect and protect our farming community, valuing their importance to the well-being of our own municipality, the region, and beyond, and look to support those businesses that in turn support all aspects of farm-related work. We will need to continue to reach out to the Niagara Regional Police and advocate for an improved police presence in West Lincoln. And we will need to work together to address the issue of road safety in our municipality, especially for pedestrians and cyclists through all parts of West Lincoln. And of course, there is a high expectation of both transparency in all our various dealings and the maintenance of fiscal responsibility as we determine current and future infrastructure needs. As we begin this new term of council, it is an expectation of our residents that we will listen to all sides of an issue. I know there will be strong opinions and even heated debates ahead of us. Will sparks fly? Perhaps. Maybe even very likely. But I am confident that in each of our hearts beats the desire to do what is best for our community. It is expected that we will work together as a team to lead West Lincoln into the future. When the debating is over and the resolution either passes or fails, we must, of course, respectfully defer to that democratic decision, remembering that the majority rules. Agreeing to disagree is, after all, a fair and honorable outcome. No one of us alone, not the mayor or an individual ward councillor, can do anything positive for West Lincoln all on our own. The teamwork is not just an ideal, but will need to form the basis of reality for our work for the next 4 years, if we are in fact to do the good work that is expected of us. It's absolutely expected that we will aim to unify rather than divide our community as we make the best decisions possible for all. Debate as appropriate to the topic will occur, but we must leave that decision and also the chambers at the end of a meeting respecting the democratic process, knowing that we have all done our jobs appropriately and understanding that nothing stated in the heat of debate should be taken personally. Just this past Saturday, in an informal chat, a wise and well-respected community member compared her hope for our council to a close-knit family, showing a strong, united face up front, with the little squabbles and petty disagreements being kept privately in the background. I really like that analogy, as it represents an attainable goal for the upcoming term of council. That openness and debate, yet the resolving of differences for the greater good, is what is expected of us as elected members of council. That is the council that our residents hope to see. That is what we have been entrusted to do on their behalf. I am confident that we are up to the task before us and that we will work together with our staff to ensure that the best decisions for West Lincoln residents are made in an open, unbiased manner. And now, in closing, I personally commit to remaining approachable to the community and to encouraging frank and respectful dialogue with all members of council and township staff as we work together, building a strong foundation on which to move our community forward, both for those living here today and for the generations to follow. Now, as mayor, I can also add my commitment to ensure that spotlights cast upon West Lincoln will be such as to demonstrate to others that West Lincoln is the healthy, generous, inclusive, and progressive community that we know it to be. A community in which we are all proud to live. A community that both longtime and newer residents will be happy to call home, just as John and I did so many years ago. Thank you. So I'm now going to call upon the other councillors who would like also to say a few words. So, Councillor Trombetta, would you like to go first, please?
Thank you, Mayor Ganan-elect. That's a lovely speech. I didn't write anything down. I know you've told me, as a former educator, make sure you write them, have your points, and I live with an educator, and they always tell me, write stuff down, have your points ready to go, but tonight I don't. I'm just going to speak from the heart like I usually do to my residents when I get there. So, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you all for being here this evening. It's a wonderful occasion to see all the new elected councilors and also to see all you here tonight. I'd love to especially thank the residents of Ward 1. I see a bunch of you out there smiling, and obviously you've seen me at the door and we've had our conversation. So without you guys, I would not be here this evening. So I guess some of you guys still out there still like me a little bit, so I'm really happy that you guys are here this evening. In turning, I'd like to thank my family for being here tonight. My mom, my wife, my children, my in-laws, my brother-in-law, my sister, and my brother-in-law as well there. Without you, I can't do it. Especially campaigning. Campaigning takes a lot out of us. And I had my father-in-law every Saturday driving me and pushing me and actually go a couple more doors, go a couple more streets. And my wife every night, Jason, come on, let's go, finish dinner and get going. And my mother obviously coming and chatting up a lot of residents that she did still know at the door and kind of get me that vote because, they know my mom, so it does help a lot. So, but with the family, it does help me and it makes me here today. But also staff. Staff does a lot. A lot of people don't realize running an election does take a lot. They have to field a lot of phone calls from us. The staff that's in the gallery, without you, I wouldn't be here today. Also, obviously my complaints or my concerns coming to you and you always taking my calls and always being there and helping me for the answers that I need. And that is one thing. So I really need to thank staff, obviously running the election and also helping me through the term, and actually my 2 terms, this will be my 3rd term, so I can't do it without you. New council-elect, can't wait to work with you. I've worked with you guys in the past. Get ready, because I will be lobbying for things in my ward, so get those hands up when I see you at council. So please make sure that, you do take my calls, and yes, I do get annoying at times, and yes, I call on occasion multiple times during the day, but I think that's a good working environment we have to get things done. So I can't wait to be working with you guys again. Again, I'd like to thank you all this evening for coming, especially the residents of Ward 1 for electing me. Thank you very much.
Councillor Bradford, please.
It's hard to follow the Trumbetta dynasty, but I'll do my best. Good evening, Mayor Ganan, fellow councillors, CAO Hendry, Clerk Shimei, township staff, distinguished guests, and the community of West Lincoln. I'm an educator, so I wrote things down. I'm deeply moved by the expression of confidence from residents in all 3 wards, and I thank all my supporters from the bottom of my heart. I'm immensely grateful to the family, friends, and loyal supporters who so generously contributed their support during this election campaign. I just loved getting out, going door to door, and having wonderful conversations with the residents of Ward 2. I'm passionate about serving others. I look forward to continuing to work for you and as your local representative to restore a sense of community and connections to make West Lincoln once again a place where all people can enjoy the sense of community that brought us to West Lincoln or have kept us here. From today, I continue to take on the responsibilities of my role, knowing that I stand on the sturdy shoulders of our dedicated citizens. I will continue to represent my community and take charge when necessary. I'm excited to continue to look for ways to strengthen our relationships with our residents, community groups, and other leaders throughout our province. As always, I ask all of you to continue to reach out and provide me with feedback and suggestions, because together we are better. Thank you.
Councillor Chichot, please. Thank you. I'm not an educator, but the educator at the top of the ladder has taught us that we should make notes. Already. So distinguished guests, Your Worship, Mayor Ganan, and that makes me very pleased to say congratulations. Mayors who have served this community previously and fellow councillors, to all of you here, fellow councillors, not mayors, councillors-elect. We're all there now, Jason. You're going to have to drop that elect. With the 14 phone calls. Okay. Winning an election comes with a full range of emotions, excitement to fear. The excitement of working in a community you have chosen to call home, and fear measuring up to the expectations of others. While dealing with unprecedented implications of a pandemic which changed the way we live, work, and do business, the last term of council dealt with a number of large-scale planning issues that resulted in the way West Lincoln will grow in the future. The most unfortunate part of this is that during that time, many people became disengaged with municipal goings-on as they struggled with everyday life. Hopefully, the future will not be a surprise for them, which makes this council's job even harder to engage them again in what has already passed and what we must do. With the job of the new official plans complete, this council will have the task of implementing those plans. What we heard loud and clear at the doors we knocked on was the hope for this council to bring people together, focus on the job at hand, work with other levels of government, and to find a way to get on with the business at hand, making the best decisions for this community. Election night, I watched as a future voter stood quietly waiting for the final tally. When the results came in, he asked if he could go and congratulate the new mayor. When he greeted her, he gave her a big hug and simply said, "Good job, Mrs. Gannan." My hope for this term of council is that we take those words and keep true to them. And someday, reflecting on this term of council, we will feel proud of the successes we have achieved together. And the future residents, old and new, will simply say, "Good job." No election is easy. There's lots of stuff to get organized, and without everyone around a candidate helping with the tasks, it can all be very daunting. So to those that were very quiet, working behind the scenes, designing print brochures and taking care of my emails and phone calls, I say thank you. To my friends and volunteers who really came through after I fractured my shoulder, some say I was after the pity vote, delivering pamphlets, knocking on doors, and speaking to people when I could not, my deepest thanks. To my brother Mike, my nephew John and his family, and my nephew Andrew, who picked up the slack at the farm, allowing me to have time to take on this term of council, my thanks. Not to be forgotten, and most importantly, to the Chichok family, is the power behind the throne. Our ability to volunteer and be involved is my sister-in-law Anne Marie, without whom our entire family would not be recognized or have a good meal waiting for us when we got home. My sincere thanks to your ongoing help and support. And lastly, to all of you, the voters of West Lincoln, what I can say, you put your trust in me, encouraged me, even when I couldn't knock on doors, voted for me. I'm humbled and energized to serve you. And with this council and this mayor, I hope to be remembered as good job people. Thank you.
Councillor Bell.
Well, I'm not an educator. I don't have a big speech. I actually employed the educators because I was one of them students that they had to stay late sometimes too. So, but I really want to say thank you to everybody. Mayor Cadan said, how's that? Okay, I was being told to raise it. Mayor Cadan really said everything that really needed to be said. And being re-elected, I was on council, and the residents felt fit to bring me back as a councilor to represent them, and I'm humbled by that. And there's a lot of work to be done in our community. There's going to be challenges that we've yet to face, and they're going to be good ones. But before you see a really good council and a really excellent mayor. And I think under Mayor Cadan's leadership and this council, we're going to move our community forward. What's happened is in the past, it's behind us, and we're going forward. And I just want to thank a few people, the residents that elected me, the residents of Ward 3 particularly, that have put me back in office, the people that helped me canvass and campaign. it was a couple of long days, and we met a lot of nice people. They had a lot to say, and we're going to look at their comments, and we're going to try to move them forward. And I think this council as a whole, collectively, we're all on the same page with that. We're all talking about traffic, speed, and different things in our community, bringing business to the community, bringing different types of businesses, not just one store. We've got enough pizza stores in the township now. So, but I'd like to thank the people that did help me. There's one in particular individual. He helped me, good friend. And he would have been here today. He passed away in election. Sorry. But he was a great guy. He was a real cheerleader, trust me. He was up there doing his thing and talking up to residents, and fantastic guy. But I'd like to acknowledge him. Chris was his name. And my family, of course, they're all always, they helped me campaign. They're encouraging to me. And my wife, particularly Lynn, she was out there every day. I got the old cheer at home every night, get out there again the next day, and let's do it. So the residents are really the ones that put me here tonight because they believed in me and they wanted to see me come back to this council. And without them, I wouldn't have been reelected. There's no question about it. But I just want to say that we are going to move this community forward as a council. And just keep one thing in mind. West Lincoln is open for business, and we're going to let people know that. And they're going to want to come to West Lincoln with their businesses to move us forward. Okay, thank you.
And last but not least, my former partner in Ward 3, William Riley. Councilor Riley.
Thank you, Mayor Ganan. Man, that feels good to say. Oh my goodness. Well, there's really not too much left that I can say that everyone hasn't covered. Oh my goodness. I know, right? So I'll try to keep this as short and sweet as possible. The last 4 years being my first term in council, I don't think any of us, including myself, imagine we'd have to face what we had to endure, between the pandemic and even just the direction of the former leadership and everything else that this council had to endure. And so when I look at what the next 4 years is going to look like, including what we have, kind of our incumbent councilors that returned, I think this council is going to be able to take on just about anything that's thrown at us. We certainly had to overcome a lot, but at the same time, I think we have to keep in mind that we're going to get some serious pressure from the province. If you haven't really been paying attention to what's going on right now, our community, we're in a little bit of a fight here. And what I mean by that is there's a tremendous amount of pressure of what West Lincoln has to offer. And I really want to be clear about this. As we stride forward, we need to grow our communities responsibly. We need to grow it sustainably. But the thing is that I'm concerned that we're going to see in the next little while is that West Lincoln is going to be the answer to the housing crisis. We're very inclusive, we're very accommodating, but we have to do everything we possibly can to ensure that we're protecting the best interests and the growth of our community in a way that doesn't put us at a downfall. We don't have the infrastructure to quite do what some of the other government levels want us to do. But that being said, I do want to issue my thanks as well. There's almost too many people to name. And so I apologize right now for not naming you all. And you know who you are, but from the months leading up until the nomination window to even during the election process, or the campaigning more or less, the amount of support that we had from the community was outrageous. When you look at what the overall turnout was, we had what I think about 5 or 6% higher than any other Niagara municipality in the voter turnout, which I think says a lot. And if not, I'd love to know, and I don't have the numbers, but I'd love to know what the overall provincial election turnout was, because I think West Lincoln probably ranked at the top there. But that being said, I do want to start by thanking my family. We've got my beautiful wife and our 4 children, Joshua, Jacob, Julianne, and James. And it's probably the only time I'm going to say all their names without tripping over them, because we decided to pick 4 J names. I got my brother Kyle and his beautiful wife Kristen, My mother's there somewhere in the corner. Oh, there she is right there. My mom Kimberly there. We got my grandmother and my Aunt Pam as well with us tonight, who also was right by my side helping knock on all those doors. And we got to about what we estimated around 2,700 doors there. It was quite a campaign success there. I also want to thank Mary Ganam for her support in having, in her team also endorsing my team as much as possible and vice versa. I think in this election here, it was very clear when you saw how the election was going that it was Team Ganam kind of versus the other team there. And I think, West Lincoln certainly is going to benefit from the success of what we have here tonight. I think besides that, there's a lot more I could probably go on that I won't bother with in terms of just my vision for the future. I think it's been very clear in what I got out there and what I like to see achieved. And so hopefully, as always, I've tried to pride myself on being one of the more accessible counselors on council here. So please, as you know, I have an open door policy. Call me morning, day, and night, and I'll probably get back to you any of those times, if not sometimes 2 or 3 in the morning. So anyways, I'd like to, and I have. I know, and I have. I respond in the moment, so when I see it, you get a reply. So anyways, I'd like to thank everybody again tonight for coming out and just being a part of this experience. This is my first re-election here. Oh, and I do have to point out, it's completely unintentional that Councillor Trebek and I happen to be wearing the same dress suits. I couldn't believe it when he sat down. I guess he just got his a few weeks ago. So I do want to exchange receipts. I'm a bargain hunter, so I do believe I probably got a better deal because I would have bought mine probably just during the holiday season. So we'll have to exchange receipts at some point, but we are wearing this unintentionally wearing the same suits there. And and again, thank you everyone. And as you know, just if you got a question, concern, whatever it is, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
And here I thought you did that on purpose to balance out the table so nicely. You never know. So we are coming to the end of our program, and before I adjourn this meeting, I want to sincerely thank our confidential secretary, Jackie Thrower, and all the staff attached to the clerk's department, additionally all those attached to public works under the umbrella of Parks, Recreation, and Facilities, and of course our communication specialists. They have all put so much time, energy, and effort into making this evening as nice as possible. I think everybody sort of thought about the whole idea of the gym and the community center, but for me, it is absolutely the perfect place to gather our community. And so thank you all for coming. So I just want to also point out that before I officially adjourn the meeting, that after we sort of bang the gavel that's over there and adjourn this meeting, then Nicole Joy Fraser is also going to close our meeting with song, and then she's going to be followed by the Piper Peter McKenzie, who will lead us out. And then I would ask you to follow us to the back of the gym, where there are some wonderful refreshments, and we hope you'll stay for a time of fellowship with all of us. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to bang. Okay, so I now declare this meeting officially adjourned at the hour of 8 p.m. That's my gavel. Oh, you said you can. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, I'm going to go back to there, and you do your thank you.
As you can see in the programs, the song is called the Miigwech Song. I first heard this song when I was in the Sweat Lodge, very much immersed in my healing journey at Anishinaabe Health Toronto, where I was residing before I moved to Niagara. And for me, hearing this song, what it represents is giving thanks, which I've heard this evening, so much gratitude, which is beautiful. But also, it's also saying, we can do this. Let's go. Let's unite. And we're together. We're united. And I really feel that's what's been shown this evening. So this is to honor everyone this evening, to honor the community, to honor the land, and to honor all of our ancestors, all of those good spirits that have been with us this evening. And we're sending them home, thanking them for the protection and for that love that they're always providing for us. Miigwech. Miigwech, Nyawin, Kinanaskomatin, all my relations.